Hi everyone, I'm MaryAnn. I'm a voice coach and visual artist from Singapore, currently in Singapore, and welcome to another installment of my weekly vlog series, Find Your Voice. So this is where I share what I am learning and have learned so far in my journey as a singer, as a voice coach, a singing instructor, someone who's all about self-expression and being true to yourself and discovering what that really means to you and discovering a worthy and meaningful purpose for yourself. And ultimately, I think that this whole journey of expressing ourselves and getting more connected to who we really are is really about finding your capital V voice, which is whatever that thing is that you are called to express over the course of your entire life, such that one day when you reach the end of it and you look back, you start to see this whole masterpiece of whatever it is that you've been trying to create and express over the years that you have spent on this earth. Yeah, so this is a very worthwhile journey, I would say. It is definitely not an easy journey. Because the things that stop us is, they are definitely things that we can work on to correct such that singing becomes easier for you. But it's more of the process of correcting those things that is difficult. And it takes a lot of persistence and discipline to actually make that happen. And so part of me recording this vlog series as well is also to test my own commitment to my singing practice, and at the same time also to share with you what I've learned so that you can also benefit and understand what this whole journey is really about. Because it's not just about singing, it's not just about improving your voice, it's really about discovering who you truly are and what is it that you want to express over the course of your entire life. What is that capital V voice? What is it that really matters to you that you want to put forth into the world such that at the end of your life you can say that it was really well lived? So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments, or you can also directly message me through any one of my links which are in the write-ups below, and subscribe to my channel and turn on the notifications so you can be the first to know when I have a new vlog published, which will be every week, usually on a Monday. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about the importance of consistent practice. And these are two words that come hand in hand. You have to practice and it has to be consistent. So when you're working with a voice coach, or even if you're just working on your voice on your own, the importance of a daily consistent practice, or at least almost daily consistent practice, I cannot stress how important that is, and it is so important for many reasons. Consistent practice doesn't just apply to singing, it applies to pretty much anything that you want to learn, any skill set that you want to pick up, any software that you're trying to figure out, pretty much anything. Okay, like you cannot do without consistent practice. And this is because every single day we have to put in the time and energy that we need in order to master a subject, in order to understand what it's really about, in order to get a full experience of it. Because otherwise you're going to come to a singing or voice coaching session and you would pretty much still be given the same exercises, and the only reason why that happens is usually because you haven't practiced. And you haven't practiced, but maybe you didn't practice in the right way. I think one of the key things that trips a lot of people up when it comes to learning any skill set is that they don't understand the importance of consistent practice. And the truth is that, practice can be really boring. And I know that it can be really boring. Like the practice of anything, even if it's something that you are passionate about, even if it's something that you enjoy, there are going to be times where it gets so mundane and so boring because you're just repeating the same thing over and over again. But you have to, especially if you are in the beginning stages of this journey. One reason why consistent practice is so difficult is because we're not used to it. You're just not used to putting in a consistent amount of time every single day to work on something. And in this case, I would say it's not so much the amount of time that you put into it, because time eventually is something that, when you put in enough consistent sessions, the time will add up. But what I'm saying is that the consistency part is actually far more important than the time factor. So if you're looking at, wanting to practice, especially when it comes to the voice, if you want to practice like 70 minutes over 1 week, it's actually more effective to do like 10 minutes a day for 7 days a week, rather than like one day where you just work on it for 70 minutes. Like it's usually more effective to break it down into smaller sessions and you do it every single day or almost every day. And part of why that is important is because you're not just improving your voice, and you're not just improving whatever skill set you're working on. You're also building a specific kind of habit, which is that of having that discipline to sit yourself down and do that thing that you need to work on, such that your skill set improves, such that you can actually see progress over time in that certain specific area. And this is the part which is really difficult for most beginners in any field, not just in singing. This is the part where we struggle with, because if we don't have a very strong foundation of discipline to begin with, and most people don't, okay, we have a very negative relationship to discipline, which has a lot to do with, if you don't do your homework, you get punished, or your parents trying to get you to sit still and like focus on something, or focus on your schoolwork, or teachers trying to get you to sit still and stop talking and focus on the class, and when it's so freaking boring. We have a very negative relationship to discipline, and nobody really taught us what discipline really is about, and what that entails. And so when it comes to us, when we are adults and we want to learn a skill set, and we hire a coach to work with us in a skill set, or we sign up for online classes or whatever it is, we're going to struggle in terms of our learning, because we don't have that inbuilt sense of discipline and building habits and having that consistency around it. And this is so important. I cannot stress the importance of it. And the reason why in singing this becomes even more important is because you have been speaking the way you have been speaking for a good, however long you have lived, pretty much. Okay, ever since you were 2 years old and you started learning how to speak, you have been more or less speaking in that way. And then there were a lot of other factors as you were growing up as well, that puts a lot of barriers on our voice, and it puts a lot of barriers on our ability to express ourselves emotionally as well. And in order to undo these things, it's not something that you sign up for like 4 voice coaching sessions over 1 month. It's not something that can correct if you don't actually put in the time to consistently practice it. I mean, from my own experience, the clients that I have that make the most progress are the ones who have consistently been practicing every single day. Every single day they put in some time to work on developing their voice. And that's how I can see that their progress is a lot faster. I can give them different exercises that they can then try out. I'm able to see where they're at, because when they consistently practice too, then they can tell me what they're really struggling with. Whereas if you don't practice and you come to the next session, and you are still going to have the same issue as you did before, because it's only when we practice on our own then we start to learn more about what is really the barrier that's stopping us. We have more awareness around ourselves and what are the things that stop us from actually doing whatever we need to do. And in the long run, cultivating that habit of practicing every single day consistently, that also builds on our discipline. That also gives you a different understanding of discipline that nobody taught you before. So as a voice coach, I'm not here just to work with you on improving your singing or improving your voice. It's also about developing yourself and developing a certain mastery in yourself and the approach that you have towards learning any skill set in your life. It's really about cultivating a daily discipline to practice something and to practice learning a new skill set. Because if you're able to master that, if you're able to master that part of the journey of consistent practice, then anything else that you want to learn in your life, anything else that you need to learn in order to be able to express whatever it is that you want to express over the course of your life, in order for you to fulfill that big dream of yours, these things that you want to learn, you need to have that sense of consistency and discipline in your daily practice. All I'm saying is that it is unavoidable. And, I think that working on your voice and working on singing, if that's what you're so inclined to work on, towards becoming a better version of yourself, towards becoming a more authentic, truer version of yourself, then part of that process is also cultivating a sense of discipline around that. Ultimately, I would say what I realized in the long run of practicing every single day is that I start to find joy in practicing as well. I start to cultivate a sense of enjoyment even when it comes to my daily practice. And there are going to be days where my voice doesn't sound so great, and there are going to be days where it sounds amazing. And the thing is, you are never going to experience the ups and downs of the journey, and you're not going to get the full experience of what this mastery journey is really about, mastering yourself, if you don't put in that time and energy and effort to do the work, which comes in the form of consistent practice. So if you have enjoyed today's video, subscribe to my channel, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments, or you can also directly message me through any one of my social media links and whatever other links I have in the write-ups attached to this video. And I will see you next week.